perfect blue sky. It's October, and it is definitely soup season, at least in my book. So today what I'm going to do is take one of my butternut squashes from the garden, and I'm going to make a butternut squash soup. To make this soup, you're going to need one butternut squash. You're going to need one onion, 2 small apples, 1 small carrot, a bunch of thyme. I'm using fresh thyme, but you can also use dried thyme, a little bit of coriander, some salt, pepper, 2 quarts of chicken broth, and a little bit of honey if you've got it. The first thing you're going to do is take your butternut squash, slice it lengthwise, scoop out the seeds, then put it on a baking sheet that has been lightly oiled, and put it upside down, the 2 halves upside down. Bake it for about 45 minutes on a 400-degree oven. You're going to bake it until the skin turns crinkly and collapses. All right, so here's my scooped out butternut squash. I will set that aside. I have chopped my carrots, chopped my apples, chopped my onions, and now I'm just pulling the thyme off of the stem. You can also use dried thyme. I'm using fresh because that's what I have. Smells very nice. We have prepared our herbs. We've got our carrots, we've got our onions, and our apples. The apples have been cored, peeled, and just roughly chopped. Once the fall weather hits, I make a lot of soups. And one of the methods that I use that I think helps make this soup really good is to layer in the flavors bit by bit. So we're going to start by just sauteing in some oil or butter, it doesn't matter. You can either use a little bit of oil, neutral oil, or a little bit of butter. And I'm just going to saute the carrots and the onions together for about 5 minutes. All right, these have been cooking for about 5 minutes. I'm now going to put in the apples and just stir them around a little bit, just to kind of get them a little bit softened. All right, after about a minute or two, I'm adding 8 cups of chicken broth. You can do this with vegetable broth if you like. I suppose you could also do it with water, but the soup won't be as rich. At this point, I'm going to turn up the heat and bring it up to a boil. The next thing I'm going to add in is the butternut squash. I'm going to add it right in to the broth mixture. All right, the squash is now in the soup mixture, and I'm going to give it a stir. This really does not have to cook long. I'm just going to bring this up to a boil and let it simmer together for about 5 or 6 minutes. I am going to add in the thyme. Once the soup has cooked for about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes maybe, the apples are soft. Now you're going to remove it from the heat, and I use my trusty immersion blender to puree it. So that's not too exciting to watch, and it's going to splatter, so you have to be careful. Okay, this is about everything is pureed in there. If you want to make it a little bit thicker, you can add a piece of bread or 2 and then continue to blend it, and that will help to thicken it. I'm going to leave mine as is. The final thing is to add about 1 tablespoon of honey into the soup and stir it well. At this point, you want to adjust your flavors, and both my husband and I agreed that it needs a little bit more salt, so I'm going to add a little bit more salt. You can serve this soup with a little dollop of yogurt, which I actually put in here, but it sunk, along with a sprig of thyme, which you can barely see right there. Let's give it a go. That hint of honey just lifts that soup right up. Don't put too much in, just a little bit. That's good. Now this soup keeps beautifully, it freezes beautifully, and it is remarkably good for you because it's got all kinds of vitamins from the squash, the vitamin A and lots of vitamin C in there as well. So it is a healthy soup. It freezes well. You can also pressure can it if you want to, following the manufacturer's instructions for doing the pressure canning. So that is my recipe for a simple butternut squash soup done with apples and thyme. Hey, thanks for watching. Stay well. Bye.